and so I don't want to just get away.
Got it.
Uh-oh. The recording is in progress.
Yeah, we definitely recording.
Yeah, man, but yeah, this is I used to take the kids, you know what I mean, my teens. I would tell them, hey, we're gonna go through my neighborhood one of these days. We're gonna go through when we get a chance, you know. Whatever, man, I Spice Lane, blah blah blah. This I'm like, now we're gonna go through my neighborhood one day, you know. And man, I took them down I ain't take them this. I took them to my middle school. And they was like, hey, Bug, don't open the door, Bug. That just don't keep going.
What
don't
school
stop.
you took them to?
Ryan. I only went to one middle school.
I feel like, but see, I feel like the shit wasn't that bad though, bro. Like
Ryan, James D. Ryan.
It was regular school. It wasn't no different than Darling.
It was 100% different from Darling.
All right, we're not doing this today.
Bro, I'm just talking about.
Your hood is harder than mine, bro. No. You clearly forgot that line. Your hood ain't no harder than mine, nigga. We all thugging. But go ahead.
Hold on.
You right. Your hood is 100%.
What's across the street from Darling?
Oh shit, I don't know now. Whatever is there now wasn't there.
It was some houses always, neighborhood.
Nigga, you from Third Ward, nigga. Third Ward was the place for black people back in the day. It was where we flourished, my nigga. It's literally called the Black River Oaks, bro.
Bruh, so if you
I ain't got no skin in this fight, but I was told that the Third Ward was called Sugar Hill at one point.
Bro, Third Ward is
where they had a party called Sugar Hill, yeah.
Third Ward is where before we were allowed to go mingle with the others, that's where your doctors, your lawyers, your black businesses, all of that was there, bro. Like, Third Ward is a nice area. Of course, nigga, your T lady owned duplexes in Third Ward. What are you talking about? Third Ward is a nice area, bro. The most hood on some real shit, on some real shit, bro.
You talking crazy right now.
I'm not talking crazy. It ain't no real slums in the trade, bro. The worst living condition you truly gonna find outside. Of course, every neighborhood gonna have some rundown houses, bro.
What are you talking about?
The CUNY homes, my nigga.
That ain't the worst. That ain't even the worst.
What's the worst?
The bottom, bro.
Nigga, the bottoms is just some ran down houses, bro. The bottoms ain't bad, nigga.
What are you talking about, bro?
It's bad because the niggas in the area be plexing and tripping and doing the bad shit.
You are seriously tripping right now, bro.
I'm seriously tripping.
Do you know what row houses are? Do you know what row houses are?
Nigga, of course I know what the row houses are.
I know you know. Do you know that they had row houses from 288 all the way to U of H? Every house was a row house from 288 all the way to U of H. It's all row houses. Ain't nothing row houses. That means it's 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom houses that ain't bigger than apartment complexes. Houses. Ain't no apartment complexes in Third Ward. It's all rundown houses, bro. The crack epidemic. Come on, man. I ain't gonna even have a conversation. But yeah, you tripping, man. I'm not saying the people are hard. I'm just saying that the conditions, the living conditions in Third Ward were totally different. Bro,
the living conditions in Third Ward were no different than Fifth Ward, Cashmere Gardens.
Stop the cap, man.
How is the cap, nigga?
Because, man, so if that's the case, then if they all the same and they ain't different, then why is it that they put so much money into rebuilding and they gentrify in certain areas? If it's all the same, we're gonna do it the same.
If you want to keep it a buck, all this shit then got gentrified, bro. So that's not no evidence of anything.
What you mean? Have you been through Fifth Ward lately?
Nigga, where the fuck I stay, bug?
Have you been down Line Street lately?
Where the fuck
ask you a question,
I
bro.
live, nigga?
Have you been down
Line Street? So if you
Street?
answer exactly where I live, I go down lines once a day. What are you talking about?
Okay, so do you think that lines look the same as Cleburne?
All of that shit is gentrified now.
I asked you a question though, and you say,
I give
you a direct question. You gave me a general answer.
I'm not giving you a general answer. My direct question is, it's all been gentrified, bro.
It hasn't all been gentrified, bro. It hasn't.
When last time you been in Fifth Ward?
I was in yesterday.
All right, so what did it look like?
It looked like, well, what part are you talking about?
Exactly.
It's
a mixture of both. It's a mixture of both. From Lines to Gregg Street, it's a mixture of hood and gentrified places. The same situation when you go to Third Ward. It's the same shit, bro. Ain't no hood in Houston, and it's on some real shit, bro. I'm from Heron Clark. Heron Clark was a nicer hood. Matter of fact, there are some spots on the south side that are nicer. Heron Clark was nicer. Some parts of the Southwest was nicer, bro. It ain't nowhere you truly can navigate in Houston, and these niggas over here is really just that much harder, or these living conditions is that much worse than anywhere in the city, bro. Everywhere in the city, all these hoods have a mixture of both decent middle-class homes to run-down homes, bro. 100%.
No.
I can agree with that. I don't know about historically, but looking at it now, because I'm moving around in Houston. I ain't from here, so when I see a lot of the different places, I agree with that. But it's like New Orleans. New Orleans is that same way because you have like 2 blocks of hood and then go 2 blocks over and it's like $1 million homes.
Yeah.
And it's pockets. But I've been to some of the schools with AAU tournaments and being there with them athletes, and all of those neighborhoods have bad spaces, man. But anything close to the interstate is gonna get eaten up anyway in gentrification because they trying to put whatever's closest for them people to get to the hospital district or downtown. So all of that's gonna get eaten up. But these kids are a little bit different only because of the music. It ain't really their living conditions.
Yeah.
I can very much have we can have a whole pod about the history of Houston and areas and why things are certain ways. The difference I would say would you talking about historically, the reason why U of H, TSU, and Rice and some of these places are where they are is because they were run down places, and that's the word land was cheap. So they bought cheap land in places that were run down, and all they did was they never invested in the land around the land. So that's why historically, TSU, U of H around there has been high crime rates, low income area, way lower than Harlem Clark, way lower than Fifth Ward, way lower than because they're literally putting no money there for years and years and years. Now the gentrification you're talking about is not them coming in and putting businesses, it's them coming in and buying up the land again and repurposing it. But as far as and it's not and that process takes so long in Third Ward because those houses have been run down and owned by Black people who died off, and now their kids got it, and they got to go through a process. They can't just sit like they can in a Herm Clark or into other areas outside the loop because those properties have been maintained better. There wasn't a mind of a very cognizant mindset to be like, we're gonna run this down. They 100% decided we're gonna run Alameda Genoa, not Alameda Genoa, Alameda, we're gonna run that down. We're gonna let that run down because that was the pipeline to Houston. You couldn't get into Houston without going down Alameda. Then they created 288, and that was like, okay, so we're not putting no businesses. So all those businesses, all that stuff, that's been there for 50 years. That's what you're talking about in the 50s when it's Sugar Hill. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, that's crack land.
Right.
60s, 70s, as heroin, crack, drugs run down for 40-some years. So saying that it's gentrified or saying that it's no harder or it's a totally different level. You talking about an abandoned part of town. All that.
So let's keep it a buck, bro. I'm going to keep it a buck. And so I don't know the exact street that they lived on, but my uncle and my cousins, they lived in Third Ward. They literally owned a duplex in Third Ward, bro, near Cleveland. I ain't saying that it wasn't hood, but I'm saying it wasn't run down, bro.
What side of Cleveland you talking about?
Nigga, I just said I don't know. I don't remember the street. But all I'm saying is
it wasn't on Cleveland.
What I'm saying is, Boog, it wasn't like the worst area ever, bro. It was actually nice. It was nice. It's always been nice pockets at Third Ward.
It's nice pockets. The nice pockets you might be talking about in neighborhood is because there's no zoning in Houston, so you can have nice pockets.
That's not the debate, though, Boog.
That's the fact. Not the debate. That's the fact.
I'm simply just stating that it's Houston, bro. It ain't no. Bro, ain't no hood just that much. First off, it really ain't the slums in Houston. I went to middle school in Fourth Ward, bro. So if you truly ask me the truth, I feel like Fourth Ward was more run down than actual Third Ward. If you want to keep it a bean.
Where is that?
Fourth Ward is near downtown. It's like I don't know how to explain it. Boog probably can explain the actual geography better, but it's near downtown. It's off like West Gray Street, all of that. Near
they call it Uptown now.
Yeah, it's Uptown now.
I agree with you, Dub. But part of Fourth Ward you're talking about?
It's Uptown now, but 20 years ago, you know what I'm saying? Actually, when they started building them high rises, them people could afford to live in them, but they was too scared to walk to the corner store that still was over there. So, I think it was similar to They actually had the row houses there too. It was similar to it.
Exactly. I'm saying, but that part right there that you're talking about, that is an entire that is from 288 all the way behind Ryan, the Emancipation Park. Is way more space of that. Like I agree with you. Fourth Ward was very, very hood. If we talk, I'm not talking about hood in the mentality, I'm talking about the demographic and the way people living and the cost of living. What I'm saying, it was way more. It's a bigger spot in Third Ward of that, and then it is because it's more people. Like I said, I could tell you that the space of these places that are like Fourth Ward. Fourth Ward was run down, yeah, in the 80s and 90s, but all of Emancipation Park, all that, Bryan, all that, to this day right now is still run down. They had to tear that stuff down. It's like now it's just patches and nothing there now because it was so run down they couldn't. It was like, we can't rebuild this. They just tore it down. But that also comes from perspective of somebody who goes through different neighborhoods a lot to get to see it. So my perspective might be a little different because I'm going through there.
But you think that you go through more neighborhoods than I do, though, bro. You just have a different perspective because you from the trade and you want to make it seem like that part of Houston was more run down. It's pockets of that everywhere. It's people from the Southwest that can tell you that the Southwest was more run down than that. Like my T lady, but literally my T lady.
Hold on, working in A-Leaf, bub. I ain't from A-Leaf, but I moved to A-Leaf when I came to Houston. In the time that I've been in Houston since 2006, A-Leaf has gotten worse economically. All of them apartments are terrible. And with my job as a person that does social services, I got to go in the houses.
Yeah.
There's some apartments in A-Leaf right now that shouldn't even be standing. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a few sections of Houston, and I can say A-Leaf has some of the poorest conditions that I've seen, but also some of the wealthiest because when you look at the way that, like, if you're going off of Kirkwood over there by the country club,
yeah,
blocks down, you in apartments that's 2 years away from being demolished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why that is, but A-Leaf is poor in the black pockets, close to Elsick, close to Hastings. All of the apartments that fill in and feed them schools, them people poor, man. Like, and they poor like on a whole nother level because those apartments remind me of like New Orleans projects, like the Florida and the Desire and stuff that they tore down in New Orleans. That's how them apartments remind me of.
I agree.
I used to work, for the company me and Bug used to work for. We don't mention, I worked at the international office for a little while, and part of the job function was once a month you had to take the, international refugees is what they call them. They come in. A lot of these people would be from Africans, places like that, and we would set them up in these apartment complexes. So these apartment complexes we would go set them up in were on the Southwest.
That's not A-Leaf though. I know you're talking about people.
It wasn't A-Leaf, but it was over there. Where all the trappers and all of that go. We riding around with the van. We rolled through the broken gates. I'm like, shit. This was my first time over there. Like, this what they bring you up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but the refugee people, they was, bro, man, they was so happy. And I get it now that I'm older. Like, it was like, this is what we living in. This a mansion for us. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I'm like, well, damn, a nigga just died over there yesterday. They selling number crack over here today, but
But see, that's the difference I'm talking about because I'm like, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, it wasn't no apartment complexes in Third Ward. To this day, it really ain't no apartment complexes in Third Ward.
Yeah, but see, you glossing over the fact that it's not any apartments because there were actually. Like it actually flourished, bro. It was nice houses in Third Ward. I'm gonna tell you why. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you why that's cap. Because when my T lady came to Houston, she moved to Fourth Ward with her aunt, and my other uncles that lived in Third Ward, they moved to Third Ward. They stayed in a nice middle class home in a nice middle class community. So both Fourth Ward and Third Ward was even then in the '60s. It was nice. There was nice pockets of it.
There were pockets.
And then it was other pockets like anywhere that weren't as nice.
Well,
so it all depends on where you.
No, you're skipping over the part. What I'm saying.
I'm not skipping over anything. It all depends on where you are able to land, Bug. It's gonna be good and bad in every hood.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is the conditions. Like I said, when you talk about the amenities and the conditions, like. All that combined, and it's not a Third Ward thing. It's just an inner city Houston. Third Ward and Fifth Ward are mirrors of each other. The difference between Third Ward and Fifth Ward is that Fifth Ward is closer to downtown, and Fifth Ward has a backside that's prominent. A whole backside that's not even that whole backside of Fifth Ward is not even it's a high end place, right? The backside of Third Ward is that way on the Bayou, where you talking about those prominent places, but everything else in Third Ward is low income. You talking about duplexes? The reason why they bought a duplex in Third Ward because it was dirt cheap, bro. Because it was dirt cheap. It was dirt. I'm talking about they already know it. Like, man, it's crack town. No one would buy this, man. Anybody can come get this. $20,000, you're gonna have a fourplex, man.
Yeah, if you want to tell the truth, historically, Houston is cheap. Period.
So you think that you can buy a fourplex in the Southwest for the same price as Third Ward?
Right now?
Yes, right now. Right now.
Actually, right now it's going to be higher in Third Ward.
It's going to be high. Why? Why? Because
the location of the land.
Because they realize that, hey, they're coming back and saying, hey, the time has come. Everything has come around like we wanted to. This is because city design and planning is a real thing, right? They know what the trend is going to be. They know how things happen. The reason why Yates is where Yates is because they knew, okay, this is where the Jewish people are right now. The mosque moved, they moved out. Let this die out. We're gonna come back. Like it's a pattern. They don't do this stuff with it. They don't just go buy stuff. Or they create. They have city planners and they have 15, 20, 30-year plans. So they know what's going down. So this whole thing is understood. The way that things are going and the way this gentrification is not. It didn't happen over one day. It was planned 50 years ago.
I think everything that you're explaining right now, and we can move on, is the same. We're saying the same thing. It's okay. We're saying the same thing, but you got it.
It's not about me getting it. It's just about the narrative.
No, I'm saying you got it. We're saying the same thing.
Anyway, what y'all mad about today, man? Because I seen Kevin got him kept telling about.
Look, man, me and Bug was going back and forth in the DM, right? Cause
you don't go back and forth with Bug. It's
look, the dude is argumentative, but I respect it because he stand on what he believes, so I'm cool with it, right? Yeah. So me and him was having. I sent him a picture of his man. I ain't gonna say his name. That's his man. You know, he love his music. He love everything he do. Well, he had on a shirt that said, "White Lives Matter."
Yeah.
It said "White Lives Matter."
White Lives Matter, my guy.
I'm assuming it ain't Button.
No, it's not Button because I fool with Button. He just says shit sometimes.
Yeah, he do.
So we'll just go ahead and say Kanye had a shirt on that said "White Lives Matter." Man.
Oh yeah, Kanye is his Jesus, bro.
Yeah,
Stop the cap, man.
Had this conversation because you like Ye so much.
No, we can't. We can be honest, bro. I'll never just make up lies, and I'm just saying. First,
I don't think you make up lies. I think you stand on what you believe. Yeah. I just don't agree with it. But the point that I was trying to make, and it's hard to get that in the characters, because Boog was like, he had to see the context of it.
Yeah.
Some stuff don't have no context because you got to look at it as counterproductive to what was going on. When you see people on the ground, and even the organization that you fool with, y'all are on the ground, organization. Y'all with the people. Y'all touch the people that the Black Lives Matter slogan matters for.
Yeah.
Not that we say, like, when we trying to get people to understand what Black Lives Matter, and not the organization, but the meaning behind that statement.
Yeah.
Is because we feel devalued. We feel like they treat us like rats.
Mm-hmm.
They want to exterminate us. And when I say they, I mean the power structure, whether they white, black, or whatever. The ones who have more money than us that don't give a shit about poor people.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly white, but they do have other races too, as we see, i.e. Kanye. The reason why it's detrimental because they'll allow him to come in and break off pockets because he separates us. Because
does he?
He does. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
In my opinion, with that statement, he comes in, and you can have your affiliation to your political party because all of them bullshit. You just got one that slings the less bullshit. So when he was doing the Trump thing, the thing that I thought was dangerous about Trump was the fact that I felt like he was trying to be a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had Republicans, man. We old enough to have Republicans and Democratic presidents, and we saw poverty and money in both.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at this, I'm saying you got to look at the other stuff he's doing, the long game that he played. You know what I mean? Like people was like, oh, look at Obama appointed all of these people. Yeah, but look at the people Trump appointed that's trying to make sure that the pedophilia walks through, and then they're gonna blame it on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
He's placing people. So when Kanye come with this White Lives Matter thing, that is directly a spit in the face of all the black people that was saying Black Lives Matter. It's not saying that white lives don't matter. We all know white lives matter. It's been mattering our whole goddamn lives.
Yeah.
But it's counterproductive to the movement of the Black Lives Matter by saying that. You could have said anything. You could have said, I love everybody. Why you have to say white lives matter and put it on your shirt? And then turn around and take a picture with Candace Owens, who hates black people, and she has a white shirt on with the black letters that says "White Lives Matter."
Yeah.
So now you're doing this buffoonery right here, man. Like,
see, that's what I'm saying. It goes too far. Y'all be going too far with the.
All right, what time out? If it, all right, explain it. Explain it to us, then, bro.
Okay, so this is what I said. This is what I told Mr. The great kcooks. I said, well, let me see. Let me see how this plays out and see what the reason is behind it is first. But then I also was like, to me, because like we quick to throw words at Kanye or people like Kanye and be like, oh, they coons, they sell out. So I'm like, to me, the Migos sell out, bro. To me, Soulja Boy sell out. To me, like 85% of these rappers are the cooniest thing you've ever seen. You can't look me in the eye as a black man and tell me you proud of anything Gucci Mane has ever done.
All right, cool. I get that part. Nah, we talking about Kanye and the White Lives Matter.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that selective morality that we use towards one person, if it's so bad for him to do that, like we quick to jump on, okay, yeah, he did this and this bad. I'm not saying that you're wrong or anything. I'm just saying this is how we react to things. But I'm asking y'all, is there anything Gucci Mane has ever done that's like, I'm proud of Gucci Mane? Like, can you look at Gucci Mane and be like, that's a representation of black people in any way positive?
Well, let me answer that, and I'm pretty sure my man gonna say that something similar. When I'm looking at these artists, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing when I look at Francis Ford Coppola, or all of these other dudes, or Sylvester Stallone. Mm-hmm. That's a part. You know what I mean? Like, you have people
that's a coon ass part, though.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. We could say that this is coon, this is coon, this is coon, and that's only because we want people to do what we want them to do. I don't want Kanye to do nothing but be Kanye. I'm speaking specifically on being the antithesis of a movement just to say something, just to gain attention.
Then what is Gucci Mane doing?
Huh?
Then what's Gucci Mane?
Gucci Mane is rapping now, bro.
Nah, stop it. Stop the cap, man.
Gucci's just rapping. Gucci ain't come out and say something purposely.
Yes, he did. Gucci Mane came out and told you it's good to shoot niggas. Gucci Mane called every female everything. What does
that have to do with the Black Lives Matter movement, bro?
So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, because there's a movement called Black Lives Matter, and because of this thing right here that we're passionate about, we'll say, well, you can't attack that anyway. But you can attack the core of our existence. You can.
Who said that, though?
I'm not saying you said that, but I'm saying that's what comes out. If look, you're looking at it from the eyes of a black person. I'm looking at the eyes from the world. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it because if I was saying this as a black person, oh yeah, that does. But if I'm looking at it from the eyes of the world, I'm like, dang. Hold up. See, I'll let you finish. Let me finish. These other guys, 100%. You have to detach yourself from them people to say, oh, them just characters, to even make it make sense. But then when Kanye did something, it's like, oh, he's anti. Nah, it can't be. This is more.
Well, hold on, talking about. That's why we're asking you. If you're saying Kanye just being a character with the White Lives Matter shirt, then just say he's just being a character.
We don't even know what it is yet. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
But it's certain shit, like for instance, right? I know what your organization does, right? Mm-hmm. I fool with it. I support it. I do all of that. Now, if I came out in the same area that you was in,
yeah,
and did the opposite of what you was doing just for spite,
yeah,
or just to draw attention to something, that wouldn't be right. And that's all I'm saying. Like, I believe mm-hmm. White lives matter. I believe Black lives matter. Mm-hmm. I believe all lives matter. But I wouldn't come out and say that just to spite Black Lives Matter, because on the stage that he's on, mm-hmm. it is automatically going to cause confusion. And sometimes you don't kick dust up on certain stuff. He could have did whatever he thinking or whatever he got going on. He could have did it without saying White Lives Matter. He's an attention whore, and in this situation, and I'm not talking about his music.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about the fact that he got up there and begged Donald Trump to give him a hug, and Donald Trump looked at him like he had like shit on his face. Mm-hmm. I'm saying we knew what was going down with the Black Lives Matter movement. We knew they did the All Lives Matter movement to spite the Black Lives Matter movement.
But he did.
Black Lives Matter organization. I ain't giving no money to that.
So how you know he ain't? What I'm saying, if I said let me see it played out, but like I said let me see it play out a little bit, because like I said, if they come out tomorrow and he say man, I was just shooting a slug at XYZ homeboy because old boy been stealing money the whole time. If they say that, what you gonna say then? You shouldn't say it like that.
Still want to say he shouldn't have did it that way. He should have just said what he meant.
I agree with you, but I'm saying that's just how we feel. That's not if you can't tell somebody how to express their feelings.
For the same reason why you say that Gucci Mane and all of these dudes are cooning is the same reason I can say that.
Yeah. So, but okay,
what's going on?
So what? So you okay? So I agree with you 100%. So would you say that if we say that they doing the same thing in different ways, we can say that, right?
Yeah, we can say what they're doing is detrimental to something in a certain way. I'm just speaking
do you think that the outcry, like what I'm saying, like for years, it's not me talking. This is really just, like I said, this is from the outside looking in. You don't think that other races look at our quote unquote heroes or our champions to be like, that's what they cool with?
I think you gotta acknowledge when people change behavior as well though. So like when our hip hop icons age, if you want to call Gucci an icon, I don't, but to some people he is. Like with growth and age, Gucci is also grown. So now his music that he puts out, he ain't talking about killing everybody all the time. Gucci's actually been putting out positive music saying put the guns down. If you listen to what he's saying.
You can't say stop the cap. You can't say one song, man.
Okay, it's a start, bro.
But
after 25 years.
But you're also
all right. So what time out? So you mean to tell me no one can change behavior?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that.
But now you're putting caveats to it.
No, I'm saying that you're trying to qualify somebody by one move over 25 years.
It's not just one move though, bro.
What it is? He just had to apologize for what he did last year. What are you talking about? He just apologized.
What are you talking about?
He just apologized.
You have a right to change at any point.
I agree.
Because look, I've been following Kanye since he first came in the game, right?
Yeah.
When he was doing beats for Puff.
Mm-hmm.
I've been, I like Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye was the guy that got up with President Bush speaking for my people. Was like, the president don't care about black people. New Orleans people were suffering with Hurricane Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
He came up and stood on that. Man, I celebrated dude. He's done the 360 of what you saying. You saying Gucci can't change and do that, but Kanye changed and did the other. He went from being a champion for black people to basically saying, and let's look at everything in totality.
Yeah.
He comes up there with a White Lives Matter. Do you see him fuck with black women? No. Now, did you recognize that he went from having a Chicago accent, at one point he had a London accent when he was wearing them contacts and shit?
I mean, people fuck up.
But that's my point. You said Gucci.
Now people fuck up.
But everybody does though. That's all I'm trying to make.
But what I'm saying
is, depends on which do I think that everything Gucci Mane did musically is helpful to us? Absolutely not. But I also know that there are certain artists that are whatever character they play or whoever they are, their persona, that doesn't mean that they do that at home. And when they're at home, they may be given to the communities because they play a role just like every actor. It's just in hip hop, we expect the hip hop artist to be real because that's how we've been conditioned. If you say, you King Kong, then you got to be King Kong 100% of the day.
All day, every day.
Every day. So,
which is stupid, but yeah.
But we have the only genre of music that use our artists up, make them be as real as they can and be crash dummies. And then when they crash out, we don't fuck with them.
Now watch this. On top of all the things we just said, where was he at when he did this? What was the setting of this where he did this?
When who did what?
Kanye.
Yeah, Fashion Week or some shit, right?
Yeah, Paris Week. Candace Owens.
Candace Owens has been anti everything black power.
Nah, she ain't. She just different, man. She just different. Like this is another thing. This is the thing about black people and the way we see things. Sometimes we have a polarizing view of things, right? Like sometimes, not you. I'm saying, Jim. I'm saying, but sometimes we feel like, because Candace Owens got on stage with Big Mike, T.I., and several other black dignitaries, and was talking, and of course because of what she said, they were like blah 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 blah. And Killer Mike had to stop the crowd and be like, y'all stop doing that, because the exact conversation she's having is word for word the same thing that Farrakhan says. Y'all don't like the messenger. Like some of the things she says, like she has her views that some I agree, some I don't. But I don't think she's anti-black. She says things that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole anti-Democrat rant started with her saying we've been giving our gross Democrats all these years for no reason, and that started with her.
But every dictator, every leader,
Yeah.
every shit, Jeffrey Dahmer made sense to somebody because people are going to attach themselves to certain things. I'm not saying that she doesn't have a point. I think Charleston White has a lot of great points.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying when you do something counterproductive to a movement that's empowering people, I don't give a shit what your message was. It's dimming the light on that in order to shine it on you, which goes back to his narcissistic point of view, which is not good for us. That's it. It's not a good point of view no matter what you're doing, because if I take light off of something that's positive just to put on myself, I didn't do the people no favor.
We gotta wait though. We gotta wait. That's like we had to wait for Gucci Mane. Like, I'm not saying Gucci Mane because it's his name, but when Gucci Mane was doing the verses with Jeezy,
yeah, when he did the Pookie Low line,
we had to wait to see. We all waited to see. Well, like Dub was saying, Gucci Mane.
We ain't wait. He immediately regretted that shit. Literally, that night he was like, "I shouldn't have did this shit."
That's what I'm saying though. Before it came, this is a 2-week, 3-week buildup. Everybody's, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? We had to wait to see what's he gonna do. He had a chance to show his growth. What did he do when it was time to show? He did whatever he did, right? And then afterwards, he didn't apologize to last week. From that first time I heard him apologize, because that's why he came out with the thing last week when he's like, that's why he said stop killing. I shouldn't have done that. I didn't hear him say nothing about being sorry. In fact, I read what he said, I'll do it again the night after. He wasn't sorry for it.
In what he did, based on whatever girl we just said, what's her name?
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
Yeah.
In what she stands for and what most of us stand for, a self-defense act is a self-defense act.
Yeah.
He man was in self-defense of himself. I was living in Atlanta at the time. I hadn't moved to Houston yet.
Yeah.
They ran in the apartment and got at him. So he defended himself, which is the reason why he got off, was to stand your ground.
But he ain't had to come and I'm glad your partner dead, and he ain't do all that.
He didn't. And
he did that. What I'm saying is that we had to wait and see what he was going to do, and then wait to see how he's going to react. And now at this point, he's like, I shouldn't have done that. I apologize, which is, I agree.
For the record, actually, that night, he put a statement out and said he shouldn't have said that shit, bro. At that night, he put a statement out and said he regretted saying that shit. The whole point of that versus going on, period, to certain people, and I don't know if it's, I don't know how you feel about it, the fact that them two dudes got on stage and nothing happened was growth. Because apparently when that shit happened, that divided Atlanta, my nigga.
It did.
Like, divided Atlanta. And therein lies the problem right there, bro. We had this conversation most times. It's funny how we quantify and qualify certain things. Like, you telling me that it's growth in the city that two people who are artists, who are famed and put on because of their ability to make music, to empower people, that we can't even sit in the same room and make music because we let this art become
we say real. The same thing. We say
they didn't have an art problem, bro.
But we say the same thing. But hold on, talking about, but we say the same thing about two political parties. That it's growth. That these people who are paid to be public servants can actually sit down and have a conversation about policies for the people that they serve.
How? No, false. What you mean? They do it every day. False? They do it every day.
That's what the whole January 6th shit was about, bro. And how we have growth from that.
We live in the United States of America, and not only that, every country has a political system where they sit in the same room and they talk about it and they argue about it every day and go home and drink and act. Every single day they sit in the same room. Single day.
Explain one thing. Explain why we ain't got rid of filibuster then.
Because they couldn't agree.
Okay,
they can't agree. But they sit in the same.
They sit in the same spot because they're getting paid $200,000 a year to sit.
100%.
Yeah, but they sit in the same spot. They create a system where they can.
We all work with people we don't like, bud.
That's what I'm saying.
Jeezy and Gucci don't work together.
No,
I want to say Jeezy and Gucci was on the same label.
No,
they just on the same song.
No. Jeezy and Gucci. So Icy, who signed Gucci?
Gucci was signed to something cat at the time. But that wasn't, Jeezy had his own thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't signed to that.
Because So Icy came out on So Icy Entertainment. I know that.
Yeah. But the beef was Jeezy said, I don't know how true that was. Jeezy
Yeah.
was like, basically that song was supposed to be his. He paid for the studio time and did all that because I think him and Gucci was cool.
Yeah.
Jeezy didn't want that song to come out because he was trying to protect his brand and he didn't think that was good for his brand. And Gucci just did it because he felt like the song was gonna pop.
Yeah.
Now
it did.
it did. But me as a listener, if you look at Gucci, anything that then popped out of Atlanta, not named T.I. or Ludacris, came through Gucci.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
True.
Gucci should be somebody's top executive in the company because his musical ear, like he can spot hits. They just had a disagreement over who was gonna be the hit, and at the time, Jeezy was still in the streets, and it boiled over, and they had a real life problem because Jeezy went on the radio and was like, "Hey man, anybody bring me that nigga chain? I got 20 grand for you."
And that's what I'm saying. And once again, we're going from
it was like 20, 21.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
grew
agree.
past that.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that some of the conversation, I mean, it boils down to how we relate and how we deal with each other as people. That's what it all comes down to.
I could agree with most things, but as far as my point of view with this, it has nothing to do with that because if you look at my text messaging right now, I'm texting Joe, he's white.
Yeah.
I'm texting Ted, he's Native American. You know, my grandmother had white, my sister's mixed. I don't have a problem with color. I have a problem with anybody, no matter what the movement is. If it's a peaceful movement, I don't want to interrupt that.
Yeah.
Not to bring light onto myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you were doing something and said, "Hold on, man, I'm gonna bring this back," then that's different. But you can't interrupt what somebody else is doing just to shine on you because you want to sell some clothes. That devalues things. And then, and like I said, look at it right now, right? Because I'm pretty sure you see the commercials. Every commercial that people are running for office now, the first thing that they say, "I want to fully fund the police."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All it is code for, man, fuck these niggas. I know what they keep saying is Black Lives Matter shit. We ain't doing that. And it's feeding right into the stuff. You think that it's an accident that Kanye do this shit in the prelims right now? This is the time when they getting us to start voting and he's helping out whatever party he's on, man. He ain't did nothing.
This man in Paris, man.
Man, it don't matter. He getting
this man in Paris, man, in Fashion Week, man.
What they got to do with anything?
So
he in Paris. He's in Paris in Fashion Week, and every photo, every camera he's in front of is going to be hitting United States social media and all of that. So whatever statement he makes in Paris, it's a statement to U.S. or wherever he's from, bro. He's a worldwide celebrity, so he's gonna get notoriety from wherever he's at. It don't matter if he was in Paris or Chicago. It's the same shit, same message, same platform that he has.
Well, like I said, I'm not passing judgment on the positive or negative side before I see, I just want to see.
But that's funny because you pass judgment on the Black Lives Matters on the negative side because people
how?
Because people were marching and the first thing that came out of your mouth was niggas don't know what they're marching for.
They don't.
How do you know that?
Because it's facts, bro.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
You know why? I know it's facts because when it came down to it, and when questions started getting asked, bro, they were like, people didn't know that Black Lives Matter was even an organization. Thought it was a statement.
I told you about that.
That's totally unfair because the people who organized that thing took that from underneath what was really going on, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It don't have nothing to do with the movement. They did that, and that was wrong on them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The people were marching about political issues for Black Lives. When they saw George Floyd die and other people or other victims, they were marching for that. They weren't marching for the actual organization Black Lives Matter. They literally were marching saying our Black Lives Matter. So for you to say niggas are stupid, they don't know what they're marching for, it's kind of fucked up.
No, it's not, because you know what I'm saying? Watch this. What I'm saying is this. You look, your commentary and the commentary y'all are giving me is valid and it's true. It makes sense. But what my responses are not coming from the same space that y'all are coming from. I'm coming from the space saying, yeah, man, I understand everything you're saying. Yeah, it has some validity to it, but it's a bigger picture. It's a way bigger picture, a huger picture than just how black people feel about something or how black people see
See,
something. That's why I keep saying they will know what they're marching for. Because when other races do things, when other cultures do things, it's not reactionary. They understand. Okay, well, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get behind this, that, and that, because I understand that there's a chain of actions has to happen. I don't just go and do something.
So explain to other countries. So explain to the people in other countries who united and actually marched to support the movement of Black Lives Mattering in America and other countries.
Everywhere in the world, they marched saying around the world, they marched for Black Lives Matters.
So you're saying all those people don't know what they're marching for?
I didn't say that.
You do.
I didn't say that.
You know, but we don't. But everybody don't know.
No, I didn't say that. I said that the people in the U.S. didn't know what they're marching for, and I said that because once again, I can show you and give you proof that we say this and we do this, but the end result is this. Like
so
I
give me
said,
the proof.
The proof is people were saying. People were like Black Lives Matter. People gave X amount of millions of dollars to Black Lives Matters, and now as time, which is the great teller of everything, time is the answer to everything. No matter what you want to say, time is going to tell you what makes sense. And as we come now, what's going on what's going on Black Lives Matter?
But we already made the statement that a lot of these people who were marching had no affiliation with the actual Black Lives Matter organization.
Then how did Black Lives Matter get $17 million then?
Listen to
the organization, bro.
How they get it though?
Because people was donating to it. It wasn't just
why
black
was they donating to it?
It was white people donating to it.
Yeah, but why was it? So you telling me?
Everybody was donating.
So you telling me that people was donating to Black Lives Matters?
Nigga, you vote, you give money to fucking United Negro College Fund. I don't know no black person got no money from the United Negro College Fund.
I don't know how to get money. Do I get the money?
What I'm saying.
I think I did it. It was on my check on accident one time.
They did, but they did that shit. The people who started the organization basically went in and did some underhanded shit and started taking money.
I agree.
They did it underhanded, so they themselves devalue what was going on. At least tried. When we look at the original dude who started that shit, dead. The dude from St. Louis, I forget his name. But it was a young cat. He was organizing all of that stuff from the ground up. So when we look at people and say, because I see you say it all the time. You be like when we talk about Jay-Z and his organization, you be like, he got a snitch on that. That woman was a civilian, and yeah, she got caught into some stuff, so she's a snitch by street rules. Some of that stuff to me, when I look at it, it's people that start off bad that do good, and people that start off good that do bad. And that's just the way life works, because sometimes people get messages messed up. Some people prefer fame, some people prefer money, and some people really be out here trying to get it.
Yeah.
The average person who was really trying to get it for Black Lives Matter wasn't even aware that there was an actual organization, because remember, the question was, where's this money going? People donate money, where's it going to? Because she ain't getting nobody out of jail. You know what I'm saying? They ain't bail nobody out. Where the money going to? And they ain't have no answer for it. Then she pop up with 3 mansions and 17 cars. You know what I'm saying? So I had questions about the organization, but we're not talking about the organization. We're talking about the movement.
And that's what I was saying. I'm saying that people don't know what they're talking about or what they're doing, because I'm saying, and let's have an honest conversation. We're not an informed people. I don't care how you want to take it, bro. I don't care how you feel about it, man. You can huff and puff, man. But nigga, facts is facts, bro.
Hey, man,
facts is
I
facts.
told you about that shit. I'm in Houston now. What I'm saying is this,
facts,
though.
Man.
The United Way, it's the same thing with the United Way. When Hurricane Harvey came, everybody across the world was donating to the United Way to help out Houston, right?
Yeah.
What was the biggest knock in Houston? The biggest knock in Houston was, we don't know where that money going. They ain't helping us. Well, my thing is this. People gave to United Way because the United Way saying, hey, we're helping these relief victims in Houston for X, Y, and Z. We know they passed out some plates of food. I'm pretty sure that they did some things in Houston as well. With the Black Lives Matter thing, a lot of black people were hurt about what happened, and there was a movement started where people were marching in the name of Black Lives Matter. So people went out, they marched, they did that piece. I understand what you're saying about the actual organization. Everybody didn't know the origins of the organization. There had been grumblings about misuse of funds with that organization a little bit before the marches started. But to say that the people who were actually marching didn't know what they were marching for, it's kind of a slap in the face.
No, I said they don't understand.
No. This is what I'm saying.
How you want to frame it, bro? I'm telling you what I'm saying.
Let me finish, Book. I'm saying these were your words. You said no. These were your words. Me and you had an independent conversation. Your words were, "Niggas don't know what they marching for." That's what you said.
They don't, bro. It's facts.
No,
it's facts, bro. How are you arguing with the fact that black people are not where they're supposed to be at, man?
Listen to what I'm saying.
What are you arguing, though?
JB,
you're trying to tell me, you're trying to specify to one point, but I'm telling you, I'm telling you that we can all agree that black people are not where they're supposed to be. That's not in question.
But that doesn't. That is nuanced, because as a people, I don't care how much we think we have power, we really don't, because we don't control money.
Because we don't work together, bro. Because we don't work together.
That's what I'm getting at. So you keep saying this about us and we not united and we not doing that. We've never been united, because it's always been a divisive nature. It's always been something, Kanye, that comes in and dividing. He's not the only one. It's always something. It's always somebody in every organization. There's always a mole. There's always a turncoat. There's always something that is already going to divide us. And then think about it. We've been Americanized so much, you're never going to get everybody on the same page. It's totally impossible. And even in whites, the thing that we do that whites don't do, from what I see, they don't criticize each other on TV. We get on there and we be like, black people this, black people that, black people this, black people that, black people ain't doing this. And we fight against each other. When they seem organized and fight behind the scenes, they do it like family. And we do it like we different gangs. And that's what I see. But when we say that we're not informed, we're misinformed a lot of times, because we don't control the narratives. We don't control the media. We don't control radio. I don't give a fuck how many times your black song spin. We don't control the radio. It's all controlled by somebody, some conglomerate.
That's what I'm saying, but we don't. That's what I'm saying. So is there a Latino station? Is there an Asian station? Yeah. Is there a station for every other peoples that have a culture? And I agree with you. I've had that same conversation 100 times. That what you just said, I've been saying that. But what I'm saying is that some of it, when I say misinformed, we're misinformed because the divider, the manipulator it's money, bro. It's money. Yeah. That's the divider. At any point, if you give so and so enough ducats, man, he's gonna be like, "Fuck that shit, I'll do that."
Yeah, like Kanye.
I guess maybe.
You can't say his money did when we throw Kanye out there as maybe, bro.
But what I'm saying, if you say Kanye, how many black people Kanye put in position to make money?
Then all them people compromised too. Then.
Yeah.
So Big Sean compromised.
If I go by
compromised, it's 2 Chainz compromised,
because he don't rock with Big Sean, and he still owe Big Sean money. So let's leave that one alone.
But it's Big Sean
compromised because he be writing raps for him. He don't even.
What about Sci High? What about?
He don't mess with Sci High no more. He don't mess with Sci High no more.
What you mean, Sci High? Just talking about Kanye yesterday.
And Sci High was just saying him and Kanye relationship bad, because I just seen Sci High say this. They haven't been the same since he did something on some song with Travis Scott, and Travis Scott was supposedly dissing Kanye or said some weak shit. And then Kanye mad at Sci-Hi because Sci-Hi was on the song. When Sci-Hi was like, "Man, why would you do that? You know Kanye, my man. Why would you?"
He talking about the song we talking about last couple cause Sicko Mode. When I was telling this guy
something like that. So that was they had friction, but
that's what I'm saying. You keep naming people that he put in position to make money.
But if money is the great compromiser, all these people compromise, bro, because he put them in position to make money. The money compromised them.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say it again. When I say money to compromise, I mean if it's us three on the screen and we all rocking red and black, no matter what happened. RBG is red, black, and green, no matter what happened. They come with JB and be like, "Hey, I'll give you 50,000, man, or 100,000, 100 million if you just start rocking red and blue. Forget the RBG." That money. That's what I'm talking about. Money. There's all in our community, and I understand why. I'm not saying it's just because we're dumb or weak. I understand the socioeconomic reasons and how we've been, but that's what happens, bro. Literally, man. Every movie, every situation.
I do think that happens in every community, not just black community.
How, man, bro? Name me the black. Name me the black restaurant, man.
If money is the black equalizer, Then it happens in every community: white, black,
Okay,
Indian,
well,
Latino, all of it.
name me the black chicken company name me the black supermarket. Name me black companies that are nationwide chains. How
The
come
book.
how come it's 40 million African American, I mean it's 85 black African Americans in the United States, but it's more Chinese restaurants than African American restaurants. That don't even make sense, man. That literally don't even make sense. Why is that?
I can tell you why, and it goes back to the not just the socioeconomic situation, but when we looked at it, like we had a time when we was empowering ourselves, and then they took that away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, if you look at what's your boy name, Umar, he
Yeah.
was talking about it one time, right? When black people were industrialized and we were working in the factories and making money, we was getting it, right? We was doing. They had home ec classes, they had shop classes. They were teaching people trades.
Yeah.
They took them trades away from us and said, "Hey, go to college." When we sitting in college, they get to dictate what we learn. So they kind of took us out of a certain position. Everything that, like you said nothing. Me and you agree, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is done by accident.
No, at all.
The same way they got city planners, the same way they already know the FBI, CIA, all of them people, they're already controlling. There's people that control what's going on. We know that. And they spin the narrative. So they start dictating to us what we can read. Like now in Texas. Texas is the state in the country that has outlawed the most books in school.
I agree. I agree.
All states, bro. So,
Well, in the same breath, when I go to TSU, what college you go to, Kev?
I graduated from TSU.
Okay, you went to any other schools before?
Colleges?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been I played ball, so I went to a couple.
Yeah. Now. Was the campus experience at TSU different from other colleges? I went to a couple PWIs.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna say it was different for me because the first university I ever went to was Dillard in New Orleans, right? Dillard University, private school.
Yeah.
And then I went to the University of New Orleans.
Okay.
So that was a different experience. University of New Orleans was like everybody. Whereas Dillard was a black experience, but I was only in Dillard one semester. So I really didn't get the full, experience of that. TSU was a lot different because by the time I got to TSU, I was older.
Yeah.
So the way that I'm looking at it is a little bit different. I'm like, man, these kids, wow. Like, what the fuck? They don't even understand what they're doing. Like, they need to get their ass to class because, man, this shit is serious out here when you got to
Yeah.
So my experience was a lot different because my mind changed. You know what I mean? Like, the way that I looked at stuff was different. And, I'm already cognizant and aware of the neighborhoods and kind of like, just the ills and things that we can fall in. So I didn't get the full TSU experience like a 19-year-old would get it because I was already looking at it from a grown man's lens.
I got it like 3 times and I ain't never went to TSU. What about you, Dub? What was your college experience like?
I mean, TSU and Prairie View was the same to me. I lived at Prairie View. I didn't live at TSU, but I experienced the campus. I mean, to me, I'm antisocial, bro. So I'm out the car to the class and back to the car. So I'm not dabbling in, maybe campus life or that campus experience. To me, it was just, people passing, going to class. I will say the vibe, though, was different at a TSU and a PV opposed to a UH downtown. I never went to U of H Central. I did go to UHD and HCC Central.
Yeah.
And it was a different type vibe. I wouldn't say it was a negative and a different type vibe. It's just different culture, bro.
Yeah.
You get a mix of everything at, let's say, UHD or HCC, but then when you hit TSU or PV, it's a couple of other different races, but for the most part, it's predominantly black. So, I had a different experience actually. Just in regular school, like my first experience in school, I went to school in the middle of Maryland. So I was at a predominantly Jewish school being black. So, I was the baddest kid in the classes every time. Every time I'm the baddest kid in the class.
Yeah.
And
whether you were bad or not, or were you really the baddest kid, or
I really wasn't I was just a regular kid. I really wasn't the baddest kid, but
it got blew up.
To those teachers' perspective, they're Jewish teachers teaching Jewish kids. I'm the baddest kid in the class. And then when I leave, Lovett Elementary in the middle of Maryland, and then I go to Hobby Elementary in the middle of Clark, Nigga, I'm a regular student being taught by people who look like me. I'm in a class of people like me, and I'm just a regular student, bro. And that's when I realized, looking back at it now, I wasn't bad when I was at Lovett. I just was different. You know what I'm saying? It was a different culture, so I was kind of like the outcast. And it wasn't just me; it was every black kid at that school. They kind of treated us like we were just the worst kids acted or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but that's why I feel like it matters if you're taught by people that look like you growing up.
All right. Well,
I never had an all black experience because, like I said, my family is very mixed, and I'm black and proud. So let me get that out there. I'm not one of them people like, hey, my heritage is Cuban. I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm just stating the fact of a lot of people in my family look different, but my dad was a Panther, so he would teach us stuff and say stuff. So I was already on certain shit that everybody else wasn't on at the time. My dad had already kind of tried to start giving us the game on. So he never really wanted us to be in an all black situation because he said the world wasn't all black. So you need to learn how to behave and maintain when you're not in a system with everybody that looks like you. So when I did go my first semester in Dillard, that was different because I was like, whoa, this is, it was like, do the right thing and stuff. You got the Greeks and all of this different shit, and I don't even know really what that is. My daddy never played and did nothing like that.
Yeah.
So it was a different experience, but it wasn't a bad experience. It was eye opening. But I've lived in South Dakota and spent time on a reservation, so my worldview is different.
Yeah.
And I will say, Boog brought this point up when we had our debate about, I put a lot of stock in, our youth being taught by people who look like us. Diversity does matter, and like you both have said, Boog has said it, and you just said it now, that the world is multicultural. It's just not black. So I do think that being in a multicultural situation is key as well, because it kind of prepares you for the real world, man. It's not like my parents did that. I had the best of both worlds. I was able to go to predominantly black schools, but my mom and my dad, they always kind of like put me in certain environments where I was around multicultural kids, teenagers, in different programs in the summer. So it wasn't a culture shock to me getting in the workforce, being in that multicultural setting. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a shock. Like, I'm glad I wasn't one of the people that never left the neighborhood that they grew up in. I remember, me and the big homie Kevin and Drew, man, we had this dude that was older than us that worked at Asteroid with us, man. And after work one day, we went to the Galleria. Something as simple as going to the Galleria Mall. And homie never said nothing, but he just was in awe walking through the mall.
Yeah.
And we was looking at him like, man, what's wrong with you? He was like, bro, I ain't never been over here. Like, I ain't never been in this mall. I ain't know this kind of shit existed. And I'm like, bro, we
some capping ass niggas, man. We all come to the mall, man. We some big fly high fly.
It ain't even that though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even that. We would go to the Galleria,
I'm
$20 in our pocket and go to the food court. But you know what I'm saying? We just chilling.
I'm fucking with you.
And this nigga like 25, 26, and he ain't never left South Park, really. Outside of, he ain't never been past 610. He ain't never crossed 610. And that shit's crazy to me, bro.
So, just to give you a short, super short history on my school experience, I went to all white schools, kindergarten through second, and then I went to a black Catholic school in third grade. I went to predominantly black schools from fourth grade to ninth grade. Went to Jones High School for 2 years, which was all mostly African American, but I was in the Vanguard program, so we had a mixture of everything, and the blacks were the minority. Then I went to an all Hispanic school, Sam Houston, for the last 2 years. Then I went to 2 different PWIs for college or whatever. So that being said, it's a tough pill to swallow if you're living in America, but black people aren't the majority. And so if you're I was in not in I was in awe to an extent, but I was also like just tripping off the way that, and I grew up in Third Ward the whole time. So I'm in Third Ward, and I've been to TSU situations, been to TSU, you know, anything TSU ever done, I've been to it, whether it be game, party, you know, whatever. I've been in the dorms, Richfield, been in TSU jail, you know, all that.
Right.
And it's just different. It's different, the mentality of the situation, the entire situation. Like there's no, like, I've been on campuses when I was in college where we won, you know, the conference or went to, you know, the Final Four, whatever it was, and the celebration was, you know, yay, we happy, we're gonna have this control thing. The sponsor's gonna come in and do this, that. These people, we do this, and gone to different. In TSU, it's totally different. They having this over there is it's different. You know what I mean? And you know, it all goes back to the way that we see things as a people, and the way that we're taught to view things. You know, the way that we're taught to react to things. You know what I mean? Been to parties where everybody in the hall and the chancellor's in there right next to me getting lifted. Everybody gets home. The head coach and the starting point guard get into a fight. Everything's under the table, handled in house. We talk about it the next day, blah, 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 blah. TSU, the same thing happened. Two random dudes get into an argument and the party gets shot up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not because they don't have guns. It's not because, it's just the mentality of the way that we, you know what I mean?
That's definitely agreed. And like, but that goes back to what I was saying in the first place as far as what is the issue. The issue isn't the people. The issue is the systemic racism, because it creates fences that get higher and higher for us to go to jump. Like every time somebody gets a little higher, they raise the fence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you keeping us boxed in. And then I read this book, right? I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this book. It's called From Niggas to Gods by an author named Khalil. In the book, he's just giving you a lot of like stories, and he tells you in the foreword he's Muslim, but he's not trying to recruit you to be Muslim. And in the book, he just started he'll tell stuff and make it make sense. And he had one story about rats. He was like, if you take it was either 2 or 3 rats, and you put them in something, you give all of them food, none of them fight each other. If you give 2 of them food, one of them is going to try to take the food, and one of them is going to have to defend it. Then you take the food and give it to only one, and then we're going to see who's the strongest to survive. And that's what it becomes. And that's kind of how our neighborhoods have become. It's a battle of who's the strongest and who's going to survive and who's the winner and who's the, all of these things. But at the end of the day, it's just only because they're dangling the cheese in front of us and we trying to eat, and some people fall victim to it and not enough people educate themselves to it, but that's just where we are. So we can't say, it's one thing that causes it. It's a bunch of shit that causes it to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the spill on that. Is just, we have a lot of ills that cause us to be in a position that we are right now. And what do you fix first? And in a lawless place that we are right now, ain't nobody listening to nobody. Ain't no big homies. People say that, but these young kids ain't listening to no big homies.